Hey. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a topic that's recently become something that I've taken an interest in, which is the difference between the original Japanese volumes of manga compared to their English counterparts, at least American counterparts, I suppose, the Viz versions. And beyond Viz's take on what manga volume should be like in English, I want to take a look at what other publishers have done in that field. So with a topic like this, there's not really much that can be done with this camera angle, so we're going to go ahead and swap to another camera angle for the rest of this video. Japanese volumes. Whether you realize it or not, this is probably something you are pretty familiar with, the concept of at least, in the sense that Japanese volumes, they're small. These are very tiny things. Like, I can literally pick this up in one hand comfortably. I can wrap the whole thing around my hand. Even Ed can. Whereas a typical English Viz release, you can, but it doesn't feel as good. Not like you're picking manga up like this anyway, but this is just to illustrate the size difference. And why exactly are Viz volumes bigger? I don't know. Does it really matter? No, not really. And this isn't even a Viz thing in particular. Pretty much any other publisher that releases single volume format things, this is the universal size, if not bigger. Very rarely are they smaller. Just to give one comparison, here's I Want to Be a Wall. This is from Yen Press. This is another single volume thing. It's thinner because it's a smaller series, but it is certainly bigger. So it doesn't seem to be much of an effort from other companies to scale down to match Japanese sizes. So I just find it really odd that when manga was brought to the West, there was no effort to localize it to a T. By default, there is a clear difference between the two things. They are printed on bigger paper. You could say it's an improvement, and you know, for the most part, yeah, I would agree bigger paper is usually better. I love deluxe editions of manga. You can see in the back there, I got plenty of them, not just Vinland Saga. There's tons of others, Berserk right above it. So yeah, I mean, I like having bigger paper, no doubt about it. It's nice. And the paper quality, it's pristine. It looks really good. This is very high quality paper, but it's not much of an upgrade from Japanese. You can see this is an older one, so it is pretty yellowed. This is kind of a bad example, but I have other examples I can show you. The newest one I have is the first volume of JoJo Lands. This is like really, really new, and you can tell like the difference in paper quality between these two is very minimal. It's definitely a thing. Like I would say, you know, Viz paper probably is more clear on the whole, but overall, I really don't think that it's that notable. It's still very solid looking paper. I can't really complain about it too much. Especially if you look at the paper quality that this stuff comes from. I mean, good Lord, this is some of the worst paper you can possibly get. You can practically see through the pages. This is abysmal. So I mentioned deluxe editions a second ago, and that may have brought forth some thoughts about other sized volumes and different types of volumes that release. And Japan is no stranger to that as well. Not every single volume is released like this. I mean, the vast majority, but there are also compilation volumes and things of that nature in Japan as well, just like here. In fact, I own one. This is the Brook, like, best of release, which, you know, very nice paper quality all the way through. And this looks like your standard omnibus release in an American publication. And what comes to your mind when I say that is probably things like this. All You Need Is Kill, where it's a full series in one volume, very thick, containing the entire series. But actually, that's not quite right. This is actually a lot bigger than something like this over in Japan, so it continues that size difference. But this actually isn't the direct comparison. The thing that almost exactly matches this size are 3-in-1 releases from Viz. It is still slightly bigger, but the difference is very, very minuscule. And this one, I mean, these are damn near identical. It's just it's got a little bit of height on it. However, in this case, for this release of Dragon Ball, paper quality is garbage. This is one of the worst Viz releases of all time in terms of paper quality, but I have it because it calls it Dragon Ball through all however many volumes there are. And while on the topic of these bigger volumes, I want to kind of dive into this a little more because this format, these big thick volumes, are the much more popular format to go with in the West. which I've always found kind of odd considering how these do certainly exist in Japan, but not anywhere near to the scale of the US. Most of the time, you're just going to find single volume releases, and that's about it. These are going to be your bread and butter over there. But over here, you have options. Even this brand new release from a new publisher called Kana, this is obviously the 3-in-1 format. It's got color pages intact, which is something even Japan doesn't do, like, ever. Except actually, I think these are like 4-in-1s. I forget how many volumes are in this. It's thick as hell, but the floppiness of the volume is definitely very reminiscent of a Japanese volume. More so a individual release, because these things, they be flopping. Whereas a Viz volume, it does flop, but it doesn't have that flop factor, you know? It's probably just because there's no dust jacket on these, which is something that is present across pretty much every volume release in Japan ever. It always has a slipcover with the actual volume art and then an undercover with something else on it. So at the end of the day, which is better? Well, I don't really know. They're so similar, it almost doesn't matter. But if you really value just the true to form factor, like this is exactly how it was released, this is how it was intended to be released more than likely. But even if you have that mindset, you also have to take into account that these volumes right here, these Japanese volumes, are really not the artist's intention at all. If you want artist intention, you're gonna wanna go deluxe edition, which doesn't really exist in Japan, fascinatingly enough. If you want to read manga in the original form that it was drawn on, the size paper that it was drawn on, you have to read in the Shonen Jump magazine, which is something you do not want to do. Because again, just to remind you, this paper quality is abysmal. It is so bad, it's actually hilarious. So even in Japan, you have to make that tough call, like, do I want artist intent or do I want better paper quality? So in that sense, I suppose the Viz release is kind of better because it's at least slightly closer to the size of the original publication. Even though if ultimately it's not really even close at all, it's still slightly bigger than its Japanese counterpart. So it's really all a matter of preference. But of all the existing publishers in the West, who gets the closest to the Japanese manga volume experience? Well, you probably already know the answer to this because I made an entire video about them already, and it's a publisher I adore greatly. They are doing fantastic things, and that would be Kodama. So Kodama doesn't do it exact. They're still a little bigger, like ever so slightly. It's a really minuscule difference. Like look at that height difference. It's basically nothing. But outside of that, the whole experience is intact with these volumes. You have the slipcover, you have the original art underneath. Probably, I don't have the Smile Japanese volume, I'm sorry to say, but I bet this is pretty much exactly what it looks like under the dust cover in Japan. And they even go a step further and include the belly bands on their volumes, which I don't actually own any Japanese volumes that have these. It's usually for like brand new releases to, you know, say like a mangaka recommended this or whatever. But even this has it. Paper quality, incredible. It's actually significantly better than the Japanese paper, I would say. It just feels better. It's more thick. Pages have some like weight to them as opposed to a Japanese volume where it just glides through your hand, which is good, don't get me wrong. I do like that about Japanese volumes. I love the fact that it's like a practically pocket-sized thing that you can just like flip through so effortlessly. They're very bendy pages that all in all creates a really pleasant reading experience, even though, again, I cannot read these words. But if you're looking for the closest emulation of a Japanese volume experience in English, if that's the language you speak, which if you're watching this video, I assume you do speak English, this is it. Kodama is it. It's the entire experience, just with a little bit better paper. It's perfect. And that also translates to their perfect editions, which are 2-in-1 volumes that keep the color pages intact. Very nice editions. I absolutely love these to death. These are some of the best manga volumes you can buy. And again, it's got the slipcover, got a belly band, got that form factor, even though it's bigger. It still just feels like a scaled up version of a Japanese volume. So yeah, I guess this has devolved into another video where I glaze Kodama, but they deserve it. No other publisher is doing what they're doing. I do want to give another shout out though to Kana. These are also like heavily scaled up Japanese volumes. It's very similar. They also have the dust cover. And honestly, extremely similar paper quality, which technically means it is worse paper quality, but you know, it still looks good. It has that floppy factor that I really like. I don't like calling it floppy factor, but that's the only thing I can think to call it. Very easy to flip through and read. However, it does lose points because it has Netflix live action film as a sticker on the cover. That is abysmal. What the hell are you thinking? Hey, for what it's worth, other companies we talked about, Viz, solid stuff. Their quality control is really goddamn terrible, but everything else, you know, conceptually, these are fine. I have no problems really with a standard Viz volume. It's totally fine. Same with the end press. I think this is totally fine. It's not the greatest paper quality in the world, but it's still fine enough. It definitely feels cheaper, which is unfortunate because it's actually more expensive than a standard volume from Viz, and also less pages. So make of that what you will, but I like to support pretty much any manga publisher I can, just to keep them all afloat at the very least. I think they're all doing great things in their own way. Let's cut back to me in the chair. We'll round this off. Pretty neat, huh? Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on this topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this debate about, you know, paper quality debacles and English versus Japanese volumes. Whatever you want to tell me about volumes. It's a topic I'm really fascinated by currently. And remember, you can also become a channel member at now 3 tiers. You can click the join button to see what tier works best for you. You get things like emotes, early access to new videos, exclusive monthly videos, and if you join at the highest tier, you get your name read out loud right now. So thank you to DJ Tengen, Milu Kitty, Braden Farrell, Halfpipe, Rafker, the Cosmere 64, Cosmic, Key to the Skies, Iliadis, Noobs Rock, and Dan. And also our newest member, The World's Worst. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy, guys.